When is it beginning from?
7th February.
Okay. Okay. Can somebody remind me what we did in the last class?
It's a group discussion.
We
Hmm.
talk about the importance of group discussion.
Yes, yes, correct. So a week has passed. Do you have any questions? Sometimes it so happens that just after a class, when the teacher asks you to ask questions, it's not easy because so much of information have been loaded onto your minds, so questions don't come instantly. A week has passed. Now, if there is anything that you would like to clarify, ask, clear your doubts about, we can begin with that and then we can go into whatever I intend to do today. I came to know from a couple of people that the that you guys in a general way learned a lot, enjoyed the class. In fact, I felt very loved and respected and honored when a couple of you even posted statuses. I think it was about that class. I'm not very sure because no name was taken, but I think it was because those statuses were posted just after the class. So I thought that maybe you guys were referring to this class, which made me very happy. So if you have any questions, we can discuss it for a couple of minutes before I move on to whatever I intend to do today. You guys have any questions? Even a no is an answer. Silence is not the answer.
No,
Okay.
sir.
What about the other people?
No, sir.
No, sir.
So,
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now, a very simple and straightforward question to all of you. Are you guys actually here instead of just logging in and going somewhere else? And do you actually want to learn about personal interviews today? Because if you are not ready mentally for this class, then I can conduct it later, or because this is anyway out of syllabus, not completely out of syllabus, but we can skip it in first semester. But I will not be able to teach you this because the teachers will be changed. You will never have me in your BTech. So if you are not ready mentally for this class, then we can skip it. So please be absolutely honest and tell me whether you are ready for the class because you have already come from a chemistry class. And sometimes it so happens that we are just not, there's no particular reason, but we are not feeling like conducting or attending a class. So please be honest and let me know if you really want to do this class.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
Yes.
sir.
This will be about personal interviews. So let me know if you want to do this class. If there is anyone who doesn't, that person can also let me know very freely and frankly. Three people have responded. What about the others?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you guys
Yes, sir.
willing
Yes,
to
sir.
Yes,
be
sir.
here? Are you
Yes, sir.
guys
Yes.
willing to
Yes, sir.
Yes,
are
sir.
Yes,
you
sir.
Yes, sir.
guys willing
Yes,
to
sir.
Yes, sir.
okay, okay,
Yes, sir.
cool, cool. Let me complete my question. The next one. Are you guys willing to be here with me actually instead of just being on my screen as logged in people for 1 hour?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. Then let us begin. Again, following the formula that I did in our previous class, I would like to first address the most basic question as to why do companies need to conduct personal interviews? You are in an academic course, you study, you write your exams, you get grades. And grades, in a general way, are a reflection of how well you have studied what is there in your syllabus, which means the more the grades or the better the grades, the more grasp you have on the knowledge that is there in your syllabus. Correct? Logically right?
Yes, sir.
Hmm. Which means that if you think of it in a very, very simple way, if somebody gets, let's say, 95 out of 100 in a subject, then I can easily assume that that person has a good grasp on that subject. Now, you are here for gaining education, and your grades reflect how much you have gained it. In that case, instead of just going through your mark sheets, instead of just going through all the seminars and workshops that you have attended or even organized, why should I focus on something else? Why should I even conduct personal interviews? Any idea as to why this is necessary? I have made it clear that you are going to do a job in which knowledge will be required, and your grades are a direct reflection of the knowledge you have gained from your syllabus, how well you have gained knowledge from the syllabus. So I would like you to tell me using your common sense, and there will not be any wrong answer. Whatever you say will be right. I am 100% sure. Tell me, why do you think after all this personal interviews are actually required? Open up, speak.
So knowledge isn't required. Knowledge is required, but with that, a personality is required for to represent a company. At the end of the day, if I get the job, I represent the company. Suppose I get a job in TCS. The way of my talking, the way of my representing myself is the reflection of the company because I'm representing the company. So
What if
that's
you
it.
have a job that does not require you to interact with people from outside the company? You are not going
Still,
to be a public relations officer. You're going to be an engineer who's going to work deep inside a building. You won't have any direct interaction with any people outside.
still I need to talk with the people, with my colleagues, the way of my
Mm,
the behavior about how I'm talking with
mm,
them,
mm,
and also if I get to represent any meeting, how do I
mm,
represent myself? That's it.
mm, mm. Any other suggestions or guesses, additions to what he said?
So grades don't define our personality, right? So you
Mm,
can be a 10 CGPA kind of person, but you still
mm.
don't know how to talk to someone.
No,
You
my,
still
my
are
question
a
is even
very
more
like.
basic. I agree with you. I agree with the person who spoke before you. But my question is very basic. Why do we need this personality in our offices? We are going to go there and work. If I teach you well, how does it matter if I beat my wife at home, for example? If I teach you well, how does it matter that I'm addicted to porn? If I teach you well, how does it matter that I'm an alcoholic? As long as my classes are awesome. That's my question.
So I
Can
think
anyone answer this one?
every company has their own requirements other than scoring full marks, and they want to check that
Mhm.
if person is up to the requirements or not. That's why they
Mm.
want to do it for an interview separately.
What requirement are you aware of, Kshitij? Any
Mm,
such specific example can you give me? Give us?
requirement.
Hmm.
I can't think of, but I think it will be the way of talking or your posture, body
Hmm.
posture,
Hmm.
like that.
You see, let me give you an answer which might sound a little vague, but I believe all of you have the maturity to understand what I'm going to say. Let me go back to the example that I gave you. If I teach you well, if my classes are awesome, how does it matter if I'm an alcoholic or a porn addict, or if I beat my parents or my wife or if I am not a good father? How does it matter? That was my question. To bring you to the point that if I work well, then how does my personality matter? Let us take the example of your relationship with me, because this is the most local example that I can give you. I can talk about Accenture and TCS, but you will not be able to connect because you have not seen the inside of those offices as well. So let me give you a local example, the relationship that you have with me. You have so far been taught, or without attending classes, you have interacted with at least 10 to 15 teachers in our college, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Yes. Now, I am sure that there is every possibility that there is another teacher or a couple of other teachers who are better teachers than me. Absolutely possible. I personally know that there are a couple of teachers in basic science who are amazing, amazing when it comes to the art of teaching. Much better than me. I respect them. But you see, you happen to be closest to me than to all the other 8, 9 teachers you have come across. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You know you can pick up the phone and call me anytime. You know that call doesn't have to be about syllabus. You can talk to me about your relationships, other family issues. So the point that I'm trying to make here is that our everyday relationships are not based on simply the work that we do. Because if you go to that level of existence, then every person around me, except probably my parents, has a transactional relationship with me. If that is the case, in Hind Motor, when I get out of my home and after walking just 100 meters or 200 meters, when I pass the rickshaw stand, the same rickshaw stand from where, when the college is open, I take rickshaw every morning to go to Hind Motor station and then travel to Lilua on the train. The last 2 years that I have not been going to college, every single time I pass that rickshaw stand, I get stuck at the place and I have a 10 to 15-minute conversation with the rickshawalas. Do I need to have that? No. Do they need to have that conversation with me? No. We don't need to be friends. It's a transactional relationship. I will, the moment the college reopens, whether they love me or hate me, whether they stop me to talk, whether I stop to talk to them and ask them about their families, I will still be taking their help to go to in motor station. I need them and I pay them for that. Then why these conversations? Why every single time when I pass the rickshaw stand, somebody from the stand, দাদা ভালো আছেন, আপনাদের কলেজ কবে থেকে খুলবে, বাড়িতে সবাই ভালো আছে কিনা? Or if I make eye contact with them, I stop and say, dada bhalo achi, how are people at home? The most basic lesson that all of us present here, and that is the reason why these classes are called soft skills classes. Hard skills are Java, C++, or welding. If you are studying mechanical engineering, welding, those are hard skills. What I teach you is very, in Hindi, sukshma, very subtle, very fine. So you definitely need hard skills. You need that. Hard skills is like buying any deodorant from the market. It's a deodorant. It's written that on the container that it's a deodorant. So that's a hard skill. You can buy a deodorant randomly and start using it. What is soft skills? This is just an example, of course. Soft skills is before buying it, smell it and see if you are comfortable wearing the deodorant, and if people will be okay if you wear the deodorant, and people will get attracted to the smell that you have on your body. That's soft skill. Hard skill is just picking up any deodorant because it's a deodorant and you need a deodorant. That's hard skill. I need to learn Java. The company needs somebody who knows Java. That's hard skill. Soft skill is this. So we need soft skills because hard skills alone will not help us survive. Forget about excelling, survive anywhere. Forget about your company also. Think about it after this class. There are so many relationships in your life right now, and I do not mean romantic relationships, where you do not have a transaction with that person or those people every day. For example, there is a person in my home in Kharagpur, not a person living in my home, but in Kharagpur, who is called every maybe 15, 20 days to clean up the leaves of the trees and cut branches and bring flower pots from the second floor to the ground floor and all that. My father is into terrace gardening. That person comes, gets a call and comes and works for 100, 200, 300 bucks if every 15, 20 days. But still, in the bazaar or somewhere else, when we come across him, there is a conversation. That does not need to happen. He has a very transactional relationship with us. He comes, he works, we give him money. That's where it should end. But we cannot live a dry life like that. It is not and it should not be transactional relationships all the time. Otherwise, there are people from your batch, first year, who have left the college and they are right now studying either engineering or other subjects in other colleges. You guys are not in touch with them, but guess what? They are in touch with me and I'm in touch with them. You guys have forgotten them. Why? Naturally, first year शुरू में दोस्ती होने से पहले ही वो कॉलेज छोड़ के चले गए. It's not possible for you to keep in touch with them because the bond did not develop. They are in various colleges. There was a guy last year who left and went down south of India to study agriculture after having studied EC in our college for 2 3 months. If you ask EC second year students, they won't even recall his face or his name. Guess what? I and he, we are in touch. He's studying agriculture. He doesn't need me anymore. I don't need him anymore. He's not paying the fees from which my salary comes. It's a private engineering college. So there is zero transaction between us. I cannot teach him agriculture. He doesn't need to learn interview skills. He's in a government agriculture course, so he's going to get jobs. So we don't live and we should not live with transactional relationships in our lives alone. If we do, then we are not going to be happy. Forget about the job prospect. This might seem like moral science, but if you have the maturity to understand what I'm telling you, you will see that even in your life, there are people, there may be a guy from the colony where you stay. You don't play cricket with him, you don't discuss academics with him, there is no exchange of notes, padhai likhai wala notes with him. You don't even have a cup of coffee together ever. But somehow, whenever you meet, you come across each other. There's a hi, hello, kaisa chal raha hai boss? ठीक हूँ, तू ठीक है? हाँ ठीक हूँ. वही है. But that's so beautiful. There's no transaction in it. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So, when it comes to, now let's zero in on the job part. When it comes to getting jobs, when it comes to trying to get jobs, your employers would try to find in you a person who understands what I just told you, that life in general is way beyond your working and getting a salary and getting back home. Even if you are not coming in contact with the people who are non-employees of your organization, and there is no question of your directly being a brand ambassador of your organization, still one moody person, one negative person can ruin the positivity of an entire office space. One single person. I remember something that a very senior monk in the Ramakrishna Mission used to tell us all the time. And he's a monk, okay? So his observations are at a different level. He said, you see, and he told this to me also, even after I came to our college. He said, Ashish, you see, this is weird. You will always find the bad to be more attractive than the good. Fine. At the end, good wins over evil and all that is fine. But somehow, whatever is bad is always more powerfully attractive than whatever is good. The good is always bland and boring and everything. And when I heard it, when he used to tell us this when we were in college. We were like, क्या है बूढ़ा बक रहा है, सन्यासी हो गया है, जिंदगी में कुछ है नहीं. But when he said this to me again, after I had, kind of matured and I had gone through my masters and jobs at other places, and I was at our college, he told me this. It hit me that it's true. You see, in our lives also, a teenager so easily gets attracted to drugs and cigarettes and all kinds of stuff that are not good for him or her. But you'll find it very difficult and very rare that a person gets attracted to the ambition of going into NASA at the age of 14. Give him a cigarette, easy, easy target. So there is an inherent power of attraction in everything that's bad. Remember this for the rest of your life. Every time you are attracted to something very much, just remember this, and this will help you to analyze and ask yourself 100 times before you jump for that person or that thing. Why am I suddenly so attracted to this? Is there something wrong? Because sir had told us once that whatever is negative, that or whatever is bad for us kind of attracts us most. Somehow the good things in life are always boring and bland. You know, you might this example might hit you hard, but you'll always find uh, your secretary in office hotter than your wife because of the way she dresses or the way she talks and the perfume she wears. It'll always seem that, my God, the lady I leave at home in the morning, so boring, wearing a sari, cooking, it's very mundane. This is like a model, she's so hot. But at the end of the day, if you really give it a try, you'll see that your wife probably would stick to you for 40 years, and your relationship with this person might survive for only 6 months because it was based primarily on bodily attraction, which would get fulfilled once she says yes. In 6 months' time, you'll know everything about her and her body, and she'll know everything about you and your body, and then you'll start getting bored. But that person you left at home in the morning will remain. So everything that's good is boring somehow, bland. That's somehow it how it is. Can't help it. So when it comes to recruitment, organizations desperately try to dig you, and they will ask you 1,000 questions. 1,000 questions. There will not be, and I repeat, this is important because you should have the mental preparation. Do not assume that because it's a job interview, they are going to ask you decent questions only. They are going to ask you questions that you expect them to ask you. Please tell me if you have understood what I have just said. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Other people, wake up, don't
Yes,
sleep.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So,
Yes, sir.
what are the kind of questions that they may ask you? Why did I ask you to specially mentally prepare for an onslaught of the kind of questions that you could never imagine you would be asked in a job interview? Let me give you an example. They might look into your eyes, and remember, this is a job interview, okay? A very, very formal setting. They might look straight into your eyes and ask you about your relationship status. If you say you are in a relationship, they might ask you whether you were in a relationship before this one. If you say yes, why did you break up? You see, these are going into deep into your personal life. But can you complain? No, you can't. Why? Because he or she asking you the questions is the boss. You have a problem with the questions? Sorry, get out. You're not getting the job. There used to be a time, 15, 20 years back, when HR interviews or personal interviews were very formal, very regimented, very within the limits. Not anymore. There are instances in our college, your seniors having faced this, where if you enter, when you enter the room, the interview room, the moment you do, they will look at you and say, hey, They look at you and say, hey, that's a good shirt. That's a very, very smart shirt. What would you say in reaction?
Thank you. Or what?
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. You haven't still reached your chair because usually the chair where you will sit will be located a little distance away from the door from which you will enter because they even want to see you walk. They even want to see how you walk all the way to the chair from the door and sit down. So the moment you enter, they give you a compliment on your shirt and you say thank you. Now, don't use your brain too much here. Tell me, do you think the interview has already begun? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
It
Yes, sir.
has.
Yes. Yes,
It
sir.
already has. And you did not even sit on the chair. You are nowhere close to the chair. You have just entered the room. And they have given you a very beautiful compliment on your shirt. Has the interview already begun? Yes, damn it. It has begun. Now you say thank you because that's how beautiful you are. You instantly receive the compliment and you thank that person. Now the person says, and this gets you on the floor, that person says, why did you wear this color today? And you start shitting in your pants. Why? Because you did not see this coming. You received the compliment. We are always ready for compliments. You received the compliment and instantly you said thank you, which was awesome. But you never imagined that the next question is going to be a question on your choice of color of that shirt. So now you don't know what to do. You are not prepared because no teacher told you to be prepared for all kinds of absurd questions. Now you can't say this because I'm telling you today. You should remember. And then you blabber, sir, I have a section of the Almira which has formal shirts. I woke up in the morning. I took out this shirt. I saw this shirt in the formal section and I took it out and I wore it. Do you think it's a good answer? Yes or no? Okay answer, good answer.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Not a
No,
good
sir,
answer.
not a good one.
Why? Why?
Because in interview we can't wear what we like.
No, it's a formal shirt. You have to wear formal shirt and you are wearing a formal shirt. There's nothing wrong with the shirt. So no question can be raised on the kind of shirt you are wearing. You are wearing a perfectly fine shirt. Still it's a wrong
They
answer.
will,
Why?
but they will
But still,
think
it
that we
doesn't.
are not.
Hmm.
They will
So
think that
well,
we are
sir.
not.
So the interviewers can think that this person cannot give concise answers to the questions asked.
No, not even that. The person will think that you. Okay, let me go back to the answer once again. The answer that you give, then I'll tell you why you will be rejected. You will say that my Almira has a section of formal clothes. Okay, no issues. I woke up, I opened the Almira, and from the formal section, I chose this shirt. No problem with that, also. Nothing wrong because you're wearing a formal shirt. You are supposed to wear a formal shirt for an interview, but you will still be rejected. Why?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because I didn't actually answer the question that why did I choose that shirt.
Because it's the most basic question and doesn't the explanation that I woke up and
You
opened this.
No, 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 you are still not getting the point. You will get rejected because you are not supposed to open the Almira and find a random formal shirt. It's an interview. The what shirt I'm going to wear tomorrow should be decided the previous evening. You are supposed to be more organized as a person. Get it now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Tomorrow, if I have a plane to catch and if I have to reach the airport 2 hours ago, will I start packing 1 hour before 2 hours ago? No, I will pack, I will get the tickets printed out, I'll do all the preparations the previous evening. If I have a plane to catch to the US and if I'm permanently shifting to US, so I have to take everything with me. And my flight is tomorrow at 11 in the morning. I will not wake up at 8 and start packing. I'm supposed to be more organized. I'll get everything ready the previous evening. The next morning I'll wake up. Even the cab will be booked. If I really have to go to the US permanently, leaving India forever, I will not even depend on Uber and Ola. I'll have a cab ready for me, even if that means paying 500 bucks extra. That's being organized because I cannot afford to miss the plane. And US is not the next station on the train that if I forget something, I'll come back and take it. Similarly, if I have a make or break job interview, I'm supposed to be more organized. I'm not supposed to wake up in the morning, open the Almira. Even if I'm wearing a formal shirt, this explanation of reason proves to the employer that I'm not an organized person. In an interview, you cannot prove in such occasions that you are a person who quote unquote lives in the moment. That whenever the moment arrives to do something, I decide what to do. That's not what, that's good for Ranbir Kapoor to say in a movie, but that's not good for you to say in an interview. मैं तो उस लम्हे में जीता हूं, जब लम्हा आ गया डिसाइड करता हूं कि क्या करना है. ये इंटरव्यू में नहीं चलता, ये मूवीज में चलता है. So they are getting back to the point, they are going to ask you all kinds of questions. Number one, the mental preparation should be there. Number two, and this is funny yet serious, no matter what answer you give them, please listen to this, okay? No matter what answer you give them, they are going to find ways to attack you. Why? Many of you, I'm sure, have a 1 year gap after plus two because you're preparing for joint entrance. It's a very common phenomenon. So they see the gap in the CV, the beginning of BTech and the end of your school life. There's a 1 year gap in between. So natural question would be, hey, what happened? What did you do in this 1 year? And you will say truthfully that I prepared for the joint entrance, which is true, which is what it is. And you will be thinking that, मैं ऑनेस्ट हूं, मैंने सच कहा, यहाँ पे क्या बर्बादी हो सकती है, क्या तबाही यहाँ पे हो सकती है. That person instantly gets back to you after the answer you have given them and tells you, so you took 1 long year to prepare for the joint entrance and you ended up in a private engineering college in Lilua. That's how bad you are. 1 full year of preparation and still here. समझ में आ रहा है मैं जो कह रहा हूं?
Yes.
The rest of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
So you were truthful, you were honest, you did your best, yet that person got back to you and started insulting you. This happens a lot. What will be the answer? Any guess? To get the job, what will be the answer? Give it a try. You're not being offered a job here. We are all friends here. We are finding out ways to deal with stupid questions. Come on. You have a gap. You say that you prepared. That's why you took a year off. And I get back to you and say, एक साल का preparation लेके भी ये हाल, MC के भी कितने खराब हो भैया पढ़ाई में कि एक साल के बाद भी यहाँ लैंड अप कर गए. What's going to be your award-winning answer?
I think you should answer that I want to tie my loose ends. I don't want to be an incomplete product. That's why I prepared myself for 1 year so that I learn all the basic stuffs.
And then you landed up in a, nationally speaking, second grade, third grade private engineering college located in Lilua after 1 year of preparation. तो IIT जाने के लिए तो 3 जन्मों का प्रिपरेशन लगता है आपको. आप इतने खराब हो, इतने untalented हो, if I may use that expression. That's what they're going to say. Don't think this is what I am telling you. That's what they're going to say in an interview. फट जाएगी, हाथ में आ जाएगी फट के. What is going to be your answer? Come on, give it a second try, third try. Easy नहीं है बॉस इंटरव्यू. उसीलिए तो इतने लोग रिजेक्टेड होते हैं और जिनको नौकरी मिलती है वो इतने खुश होते हैं. It's really like an achievement clearing an interview. Can somebody give me the answer? That person got back to you and insulted you and said you took 1 long year to land up finally in a, in a college that nobody even knows about, even in Belur. So what is going to be your answer?
I can answer that. At least I gave a try. Rather than giving up, I tested
Yeah,
myself.
and you
That's
say
where do
this,
I
and the
stand.
person then gets back to you and says, okay, so this is your best try. You must be very bad because your best attempt is this, or did
Well,
you?
sometimes the conditions don't give it a chance. That suppose anything can happen. Percentile being it's a matter of joke, but still we can say that we are the gender students.
Mhm,
So we don't get that type of priority where the reservation students get. Suppose I can
mhm,
take an example that I get 90
mhm,
percentile, and when one of my fellow friends gets a 67 percentile, he gets selected for the J advanced, but we don't
mhm.
get it. So that
So
can be
you
the
mean
answer.
all people clearing JEE are quota people? There are general people clearing it as
Well,
well.
certainly not. Certainly not.
Hmm. That's where they'll catch you. The answer that all of you have been missing, and I want you to look at the world or look at life from this perspective. Let me give you the conversation once again. So, Ashish, there's a 1 year gap in your CV. You passed class 12 and then you took 1 year off from academics. What were you doing? And I smile and look into his eyes and say, sir, I was preparing for the joint entrance examination. Oh, okay. So 365 days of preparation and you landed up in this college, private engineering college in a small town called Lilua. And then I look into his eyes and say, sir, I don't understand why you are saying the name of my college and this place in such a manner. I am very happy, very, very happy to be here. I am proud of the fact that I am a student of this college. I am learning every day from my professors here. I have made some of the coolest friendships of my life. You are saying it in that tone, but if I am sick and if I have to stay at home for 1 day, I feel that I have missed a big part of my life by not coming to college that day. I think you and I see this college and its infrastructure and teachers from two very different perspectives. And I will never understand why you are saying it in this way. And as far as, yes, rankings are concerned, yes, it's not an IIT, but my mother is not a Miss Universe winner, but to me, she's the most beautiful woman on this planet. I never wanted Aishwarya Rai to be my mother. I have a mother, and she's more, thousand times more beautiful to me than Aishwarya Rai. So I'm very happy. I don't see why you seem so upset. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I
Yes, sir.
want all of you to
Yes,
respond.
sir.
Clear?
So
Yes,
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 sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
दबोगे तो वो दबाते जाएगा, जितना दबोगे वो दबाते जाएगा, जिसका मतलब ये नहीं है that you will give them a rude answer. My answer was not rude. It was one filled with pride for my institution. अगर आपको लगता है कि थोड़ा सा एब्सर्ड आंसर है, इसका पैरेलल भी मैं आपको देके समझा सकता हूं कि ये एब्सर्ड आंसर नहीं है. If somebody tomorrow tells me, my God, you live in India, your academic qualification, the way you are, your culture, how do you manage in India? You should be in America. My answer would be the same. I am extremely proud of my country. I know that America is 1,000 times more progressed when it comes to some aspects of existence. I know that India right now is not in a position to compete with America in many aspects, but you give me an option, I'll still not go. अब समझ में आया parallel draw?
Yes, sir.
So prepare yourself in such a way, because you see, when you guys go for an interview year after year, you look at those people and you think मैं छोटा हूं वो बड़े हैं, वो झाड़ देंगे, वो डांट देंगे, सुन लेंगे, वो सब तो ठीक है. You should respect them. But they remember that they are not coming to the college with the mindset of handling nursery students. If you show them some strength of character, if you show them that you are proud of your country, proud of your college, proud of your village, even if that village does not have electricity, they will think that here is a man or a woman of substance. This does not mean that you will be impractical. This does not mean that you will, because sir has said that you should be proud, you should not say that my college is at the level of IIT or India is. Why are you saying India is backward? India is at in all aspects equal to US. Don't be stupid. Don't be impractical. Be practical. Say that yes, my college is not at par with the IITs. My country is not at par with the United States of America in many aspects. Yet, I am proud of it and I believe firmly that a little bit of good intention and efforts will get us there. So they need to see in you a person who's practical, not stupidly optimistic, but practical and optimistic and willing to bring about a change. Not a person who's pessimistic, who has accepted that yahan kuch nahi hone wala. Not a person who's thinking that my neighbor will do the work and I will enjoy the results. So every single time an interview takes place, especially when you're a fresher, the beginning of an interview is typically like one of those old video games where two people are fighting with each other and there are two columns of blood. You give your opponent one punch in the face, his blood level falls, and your blood level rises in the column. I'm talking about the video game. And at the end, whichever person's blood level becomes zero loses. An interview typically begins in this way, that person trying to ask you thousand questions to corner you and insult you and make you feel bad about your life, sad about your life, make you feel that you are incompetent and disgusting and you have not done anything good in life. They will try very hard. The more they see that you are an optimistic person, you are a beautiful, wonderful, smiling, energetic, positive person, the more they will try to push you to a corner and make you feel bad about everything in your life. You break your breakups, they'll make you feel you are a disgusting partner. Your results, they'll make you feel you are a disgusting student. They'll try to make you feel disgusting about everything. And if you fall into that trap, my friends, it will become that Discovery Channel popular scene where the deer is running and the tiger is running after the deer. In most cases, we know what's gonna ultimately happen. So, no matter what the question is, prepare yourself in such a way that your answer is full of positivity, optimism, hope. Do not say anything negative about any person, any place, any in a larger context, any country. Criticize. There is nothing wrong with criticizing. You can even criticize me on my face. If I am a truly educated person, I will not mind. But you will cross the line if in your criticism you become personal. You will cross the line if in your criticism you use foul language. Believe me, even though Pakistan is an enemy country, is popularly considered to be an enemy country, in an interview, you have every right to criticize Pakistan for all the bad things they have done or they do. But if in the criticism, if you use the MCBC, you won't do that in an interview, I know. I'm giving you an extreme example to make you understand the point. If you use any bad word, any foul language, even while referring to Pakistan, you will still be rejected. So you need to show to them that you are a man or woman of culture. And the problem with us Now, let me get to the problem. Why do we need this class? What is the problem? The problem with all of us, including me, even though I am your teacher, is that we have grown up in a culture or in a society, broadly speaking, where we have been fed a large number of bias about people from other religion, people from other castes, other states, country. We have grown up with a lot of negativity. It does not matter whether it's you or it's me or it's our principal or it's our group D staff in college. If you put a small microphone, hide it in any of our homes, you will find that although we try to project ourselves as very polished outside, in our homes, the kind of conversations we have are disgusting. When it comes to marriage, a Brahmin family will ask the son or the daughter, "Oh, the person you are in love with, is he a Brahmin too? Or is she a Brahmin too?" I'll tell you what I heard a couple of days back. I was discussing this with one of your seniors just a couple of days back. In a very casual conversation, a neighbor of mine said this, and he did not even understand where he went wrong or how disgusting is the statement. He said it in a very casual way, which reflected that this is what he thinks or how he thinks. I'm not giving you the context of the conversation because that is not necessary. I'm just giving you the sentence. He said, ছেলেটা মুসলমান হলেও ভালো. Even though the man, that man, he was referring to another man. Even though that man is Muslim, he's good. What does this mean? What does this mean?
So this typically he wanted to say is that Muslims are generally bad, but this Muslim
Generally,
is
yeah.
an exception. He's good.
Yes. He did not even understand. I can bet my life on it. He did not even understand that what he was saying was A grade level disgusting. He said it in such a casual way and in such a casual but serious way. Serious because the context was a serious context. They were discussing about giving a responsibility to another person. Now, that person's religion happened to be Islam. And it was a conversation happening with three Hindu people. So, this guy, I was present there, not directly involved in the conversation. I was listening to them from the balcony. And I heard it and I was like, what did he just say? So, this is how he thinks. And let me tell you, this is not specific to any one particular religion or culture. Ye sare ke sare. We have these stereotypes. Bengalis, fish eating, Rasgulla eating, lazy people. Marwadis, kanjoos. Biharis, only listening to Bhojpuri songs and chewing gutka. And we have Muslims, all terrorists, right? So we have these stereotypical image that we have beautifully created and pasted on every community and people from every religion. That this is how we have grown up. This is how we have grown up. Our parents, people around us, they have constantly fed us with these bias. And today we have reached a situation, a station in our lives where we are just 2.5 years, 3 years away from appearing in an interview where even if 0.001% of the dirt that we are carrying in our minds, the negative, stupid things that we are, images that we are carrying in our minds for people from other countries, like for Americans, for people from the West, Europe, America, the general image, if you do your research, you will find that typically people from this part of the world, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, we always think that people in the West are probably always having sex. That's what they do, right? Those people think India is still a land of snake charmers. India is a large village, no electricity, no infrastructure. They think this about us. And we think that the Western people, white skinned people, are always having sex, probably 24 into 7. So this is how we have grown up. And in an interview, if even 0.001% of all the things that we have been fed and we have cultured and preserved in our minds and hearts for such a long time comes out, that is the goodbye of the interview. And they will try to check if you really think that all Muslims are terrorists, or if you really think that, among Hindus, Brahmins are slightly more elevated than Shudras and Kshatriyas, if you really think that all Pakistanis are bad human beings, if you really think that people who are mm, other kinds of minorities, let's say sexual orientation wise minorities, LGBTQ people, if they are disgusting, they will try to find out what you exactly think about all these aspects and people. You give them one wrong answer, just one wrong answer. You say that, LGBTQ people, my God, men walking like women, men saying that they want to be wives of other men. Oh my God, that's the end of your interview. This, therefore, what am I asking you to do by giving you so many examples? I'm asking you to make a transition from the India and Indianness that you have so far carried in your heart, only the dirty part, not the good part. From that to a true Indian, an Indian who understands that every person, every community, every religion should be given its own space and should be respected. Whatever is bad, no matter who does it, from the PM to the group D staff in our college, from a Hindu to a Christian to a Muslim. If it's bad, it's bad for everyone. If it's good for everyone. The biggest reference that we should have is only and only the constitution of the country. There is no place for personal bias. That is what they want from you. They don't want you to be a person who goes into their office with the feelings of Marwadi hai to kanjusi hoga, Bihari hai to uncultured hoga, Bengali hai to lazy hoga, and so on and so forth. We basically have these for almost all communities. गुजराती है तो सारा दिन फेफड़ा फाफड़ा या जो भी है उनका वो खाता होगा और कोई काम नहीं करता होगा. This transition you have to make, and it's bloody tough. Let me tell you that. I have done it myself, and I won't say I'm still free 100% from all the things that I have been taught by my surroundings when I was growing up. Because when it comes to these surroundings that I'm referring to, even though I'm much older than you, not much has changed. I think it has in fact become more poisonous in your time. In my time, I was born in Bihar as a Bengali and a Hindu. So I kind of grew up amongst Biharis, and at home there were people speaking Bangla. Things were much better than they are today. I find a lot more poison in the hearts of people today than there was some 2 3 decades ago. That is why they will try to check even more, because if you carry that poison into office, you alone can ruin the entire atmosphere. You alone can cause a lot of problems for the organization. If you ever try to install any app like Uber or Ola or Paytm or any of these apps, I'm sure you have these already. There is a stage in the process of installation where you have to accept their terms and conditions. What do we usually do? Come on, what do we usually do when we have
Don't
to
read,
accept the term?
we,
Huh?
we don't read
Without
and
reading, we just accept it.
accept it
Yes,
every time.
yes, yes. Next time, you don't have to uninstall and install anything, but next time you install an app, just quickly browse through the terms and conditions and find one bullet point where you will definitely see something that is common for all applications you have ever installed on your phone in your entire life. What is that common thing? The statement reads like this: Uber, I'm taking the name of this company. It could be Ola, it could be anything. Urban Clap. Uber does not discriminate between people based on the color of their skin, nationality, gender, religion, caste, sexual orientation, etc. Uber is an equal opportunity employer. So if an Uber driver tells you when the car reaches your doorstep, if the driver tells you, "Oh, you are Shudra, I'm a Hindu Brahmin driver. I will not accept you in my car." You record that conversation, send it to Uber. Uber will instantly fire the driver. You are a man whose sexual orientation is different. An Uber driver cannot reject you by saying that, "Oh, you belong to the LGBTQ community, I cannot accept you." An Uber driver cannot reject you because you are Hindu or Muslim or Jew or Christian. This is the world to which you are going to transition and go. The world that you currently live in is 80% poison, 20% what you can learn from and get inspired from. And if you carry this 80% poison, which is very normal and natural for you to, which is very normal and natural for you to do because you have it in you, programmed. You know, your parents, your friends, their parents, your neighbors, they have all worked very hard to make you hate each other. If you carry all this into your office or in an interview room, that is the end of your career even before it has taken off. Now, what I'm asking you to do, this transition, is a huge project. The reason why I decided to talk to you right in your first semester about these things is that in the sixth semester, beginning of the sixth semester, with just 5 months in your hands for the interviews, if you tell yourself, हाँ अब काम शुरू करते हैं, नहीं होने वाला, won't happen, not easy. If you hate Hindus or Muslims, 5 months is not going to be enough for you to unhate them. You don't have to love them, but at least not don't hate them. If you are a person who thinks that all Marwadis are penny pinchers, or if you happen to be a person who thinks that all Bengalis are lazy people, 5 months will not be enough for you to unburden yourself from all the bias. It's going to take a lot more time. If you begin from today, it's going to turn out to be a huge battle, because while you are telling yourself that, I have to cleanse myself, CLEANSE, cleanse myself of these impure thoughts, bias, as you try to fight your own battle to improve yourself as a human being, the society will constantly keep doing what it has been doing to you for the last 18 years. Every time you try to become a better human being, somebody from your surrounding will say that person is although that person is Muslim, he's a good guy. Because this is how it is. This is how we have always been. But the corporate world, because you are studying engineering, had you been studying Bengali honors, English honors, I would not have to tell you all this, because not that necessary. But you are going into a world which is absolutely free from all these things. वहां पे तो SC ST OBC स्पोर्ट्स हैंडीकैप्ड का रिजर्वेशन भी नहीं चलता है. You will not find SC ST OBC reservations in Accenture or TCS or Capgemini. You won't. They are that kind of practitioners of equality. So you need to upgrade yourself. You need to come out of the chains that have been tied to your hands and feet and mind, and you have to come out of the limited ways in which you have thought if you want to get the job. And this upgrading is going to take a lot of time. because the society is not going to help you, unfortunately. It's sometimes when I think of all these things, when I hear statements like, even though he's Muslim, he's a good guy, I smile and think that it's a miracle that India, with people from so many religions, so many cultural backgrounds, India is still together after 70 plus years. We should have broken into 1,000 pieces many, many years ago because we are because we are so divided. Even though we try to show to the world, and when we dress up and leave our homes, we try to show we are truly global citizens. The fact is, we are so divided, we are so ugly inside when it comes to anybody who's different in any way, different in religion, different in what he or she eats, different in how he or she prays, different in how he or she wants to mate with other people. We just cannot accept difference. And the corporate world, the world to which you are going to apply for a citizenship, that corporate world is all about equality and acceptance, meaning just the opposite of the world in which you are living right now, your world. This upgrading needs to be done, and very quickly. Believe me, 2.5, 3 years is going to be very, very less, because you're going to undo what the society has done to you for 18, 19 years. And that is going to be tough, because unfortunately, even most of your teachers are subject to these bias. Most of your teachers as well. Let me tell you that even without knowing all of them personally, whether in your school or your college, if you hear some of the conversations that happen in the staff room, you will stop respecting them as your teachers. They might go into the classroom and say big, big, heavy things, beautiful, glittery things to you. But sometimes when I am a part of staff room conversations, some of the things that I hear from them about Biharis or Bengalis or Muslims or Marwadis, I tell myself that it's such a hypocrite world. How can you go into a classroom and say things which make students your fan, or make you their role models, and you are the same person who's saying these things in the staff room? How can you say that? So this world will constantly try to poison you. You are already poisoned. You have to unpoison yourself if you want to successfully live a life of prosperous career. Is that clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Do you have any questions? If you do, feel free to ask.
So, in an interview about our personal
Hmm.
stuffs, I don't think we have
Hmm.
to answer all answers honestly to the interviewer about our personal life and personal stuffs,
Why do you think so?
because he doesn't have an evidence to check that if I'm lying or not. He can't prove it to me that
Bro,
if I'm
listen,
single or
listen. Bro, listen. Let me tell you something. Let me give you a real life example. वो तो इंटरव्यू है, मैं तो सिर्फ एक छोटा मोटा टीचर हूँ. What power I have, let me tell you, then you will understand. अगर टीचर के पास ये पावर है, तो इंटरव्यूअर तो इसका बाप होगा. Obviously, because he or she will conduct has been conducting interviews for years. I'm just a personality development teacher. Let me give you an example, and this is for all of you, not just Shitij. A couple of days back, a student of mine pinged me at night and said, "Sir, I want to share something." I said, "Go ahead." And he said that, "I have a problem." I said, "What problem?" He said that, "I become scared very easily. I become frightened very, very easily." I said, "Okay. Do you think it's a problem? Is there a genuine reason?" He said, "No. Even when I'm with my friends, something happens to all of us. They get scared. It's normal, right? मम्मी पापा के पास डांट पड़ना है, ये है वो है. But I get so scared that I kind of lose it. I lose control on myself. बहुत डर जाता. So I said, okay. Then we have to, if there is a problem, we have to first find out why the problem exists. He said, sir, how will you do that? I said, I think I already know. He said, really? I said, yeah. He said, tell me. You don't know me, sir. We barely have known each other for 1, 2 months. And you are saying you can tell me what is the root of this problem? I said, yes, sir, I can. He said, what is the problem? He said, I said, the problem is that when you were a child, when your personality was getting formed, you got a lot of scolding and thrashing from your parents and other family members at home. And he was silent. I said, what? Is that true? He said, how did you know? I said, I didn't have to know. It's called the science of personality. You, when you were growing up, क्लास KG 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, जिस टाइम पे हमारे पर्सनालिटी का जो नींव है, फाउंडेशन है, वो बनाया जाता है, बनता है वो, उस टाइम पे इफ अ पर्सन गेट्स thrashed severely almost every day, scolded severely almost every day, उसमें वो डर बैठ जाता है, and that fear becomes a part of his or her personality. He said, this is exactly what happened. I was thrashed by my parents. I was scolded very heavily. And you are right, sir. Kshitij, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
If I, after having known a person for just 1, 1.5 months, can make such an accurate prediction, the person who will be conducting your interview will be my baap in this respect. क्योंकि वो वही करता है. Now, getting back to your specific question, कैसे? You see, I will ask you, when you give me a particular answer, I will go to another topic and then to another topic. Your assumption will be, ये तो उस टॉपिक से मूव ऑन कर चुका है, इंटरव्यूअर जो है मूव ऑन कर चुका है. But what I will do, and you will not be able to catch me because I'm so smooth, is that I will keep asking you questions indirectly related to that answer you gave me 10 minutes ago. आपको पता भी नहीं चले. And in answering one of the questions that I'm asking, if you tell me something which contradicts whatever you told me 10 minutes ago, for example, right at the beginning of our conversation, our interview, you say, I directly ask you, what do you think about India's diversity? You know, it's a 140 crore people country. Christians, Jews, Muslims, Hindus. What do you think? You, this is the first question that I ask you, and you say that, sir, I think this is awesome. You know, so many people from so many religions living together is awesome. This is our strength, and you say all these things, and I'm like, whoa, this man is different. This young man is different. 15, 20 minutes later, in a completely different context, if you tell me, sir, no, you tell me, out of the 10 terrorists in the world, why are 7 Muslims? You tell me. It's a different context, but you say this, and instantly I know that whatever you said in at first in that answer, you don't believe that. It was just to show that you are a truly global citizen. तुम्हारे दिमाग में actually ये है, and you will get exposed, and you will get caught, and you will get rejected. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Which brings me to the point that you need to be honest, because they will find a way to find out what you lied about. And once they find out, they will kill you with further questions. So you need to be honest. Now the question is, there are like a breakup. A breakup in a relationship is never a positive thing, right? It's not a positive thing at all. You were in a relationship, it didn't last. It's not a positive thing. Now, to answer your question more specifically, Kshitij, these negative things, 10 का marks, बहुत लो है, बहुत लो है. 2 breakups हुए हैं. ऐसी चीजें जो नेगेटिव है, What do we do about this? You don't have to do anything about these things. Why? You should, in turn, change the way you think about these things. A person who is into his or her first relationship and a person who has gone through two breakups, if you compare them, which is the person who understands the concept of relationship better, is more mature about relationships? Which person?
The person with breakups.
breakup.
Yes, which means, which simply means that if you have fallen, then it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because you know what not to do the next time to avoid the fall. A person who has lived 40 years of his life not failing once, everything, every aspect of his life being 10 out of 10, you guys might envy that person. You guys might be jealous of that person, but I pity that person. Why do I pity that person? Because everybody has to fall today, tomorrow, or the day after. You go to our mythology, I'm talking about the Hindu mythology, even gods have fallen. Everybody has to fall. If a person has not fallen for 40 years, at your age with your maturity, you will be like, boss, kya life hai, set life hai. And you will be jealous of that person. I will be like, oh God, when this guy falls, he is going to be ruined because 40 साल में इसने fall का experience ही इसका नहीं है. He doesn't know how to handle falls. And if I have had 10 falls, relationship related, result related, profession related, I might be tired. I might have a couple of more gray hairs on my head due to those falls, but I am also stronger. I am also more mature, and I know what not to do in order to avoid similar falls in future. And that has its value. So if you have gone through a breakup, be proud of it. Not proud of the fact that you broke up with someone, but proud of the fact that you understand the concept of relationship slightly better than a person who has never gone through a breakup. The next time you are in a relationship, you will be more careful. You will know what could be the possible expectations from the partner. You would know what you need to do better than last time. That you need to wait for some time, observe the person, find out about that person, than to look at that person in a party and instantly go and bend and propose with a rose. This is maturity. This is what you understand when you fall. So whether it's your bad ICSE results or a couple of breakups, don't run away. Accept it yourself first. Only when you accept it will you be able to proudly say, हाँ हुआ था, मैंने इससे सीखा. And सीखना is always positive. Always positive. So honesty, definitely. But if you are honest, you will have to talk about a couple of maybe negative things in your life. And you will not be uncomfortable in talking about them only if you are able to accept those first. अगर आपके breakup को लेके आपके दिल में अभी भी कष्ट है, then you will, if you have still not been able to accept the breakup, then you will not be able to talk about the breakup. आंखों में पानी आ जाएगी, your body language will change, and the interviewer will understand कि इसको वो breakup अभी भी चुभता है. So the first step, personality wise, is to accept it. हाँ ये हुआ. हाँ HS का रिजल्ट 10 का रिजल्ट खराब हुआ. हाँ ब्रेकअप हुई. Once you accept it yourself, once you start living with it, you will be fine. In a world which appreciates fair skinned people, people who are fair, right? This is a world, no matter how much you talk about racism, racism still exists. And the world, in a general way, seems to favor, appreciate, or trust more people who are fair. That is how it is. In a world that is heavily biased towards white skinned, fair skinned people, When a woman from Nigeria, when a woman from Ghana, Ethiopia stands up proudly with a very positive body language on the stage of Miss Universe or Miss World, can you imagine the kind of mental strength, the level of positivity? Because she knows that the world is naturally biased towards fair skinned people. And here I am standing on the stage, my skin pitch black. Even if I'm 10,000 times better than the whitest contestant on stage, still the judge will begin with a little bit of negativity towards me. But still, she is there in the competition, proudly holding her Nigerian banner on her body. Why? Because she has accepted her skin's color and is proud of it. That is why she's able to take part in the competition. If she herself thought that she was ugly because she was black, she would never be able to stand on the stage proudly and answer questions and believe that she can also win the Miss Universe title. Have I made this point clear?
Yes.
Good
Yes,
enough.
sir.
Hmm. Any other questions?
Sir, how to start the transition? What you mentioned, where to start?
Hmm. You can start the transition right now and with everything that you do and think about. You just need to be a little alert about what you are thinking, what you are saying, what people around you are saying. देखो बहुत सारे लोग जो एग्जांपल मैंने दिया, that conversation where a person said, even though he is Muslim, he is a good guy. Many people would have missed that sentence. उनको सुनाई नहीं देता, वो ऑब्जर्व ही नहीं करते. मैंने किया. Why? Because my eyes and ears are always open and observant. Unless
Sir,
and
then the
until
more,
you are.
acha,
Hmm, Go ahead,
no,
Ram.
sir, no, sir, please you. So you told that we should be alert. So
Hmm,
the more we will be alert, the more we will
hmm.
get towards biasness. Maybe it can happen.
No, it's the opposite. The more you are alert, you will come to know every single time the society is trying to inject poison inside you, and you can run away. You can
Hmm.
resist. Poison gets into you only when you are not alert and when you are in an acceptance mood. And this poison, believe me, at times can come even from your parents. Believe me, might sound bad, but it's true.
Yes,
Not
sir.
just when I say society, it does include even your teachers in college and your parents. Because I am a very close friend to many of you, individually when I have conversation, here it's a class, there are 25, 26 students present. But individually, when I have conversations with you guys, when I'm talking to only one person on WhatsApp, I get to literally see a lot of poison. I get to see a lot of poison. You can't imagine how much poison there exists in the students of our college. And I know I don't blame them. I don't get mad at them. I don't get angry with them. I don't stop talking to them or start hating them because I know where this poison is coming from. So what is yesterday somebody told me, I don't know whether you saw the status that I posted yesterday about Republic Day, and one of my friends who's a doctor right now saw that status in which I had said that the republic will crumble unless and until we, the people, we are together and we start respecting each other and all. A doctor, he responded to that status by saying, as if all this is going to happen. He texted me and said, as if all of this is ever going to happen. The unity and all. So I told him, Look, I know, right? I know I am a conscious citizen of this country. I know where the problem is. I know that if I say unity, in entire country will not become united. I know I'm not being stupid here. Still, I posted that status. And when that doctor friend of mine texted me and said, as if it's going to happen, I told him, bro, I am a teacher who does not stop trying. And because I don't stop trying, or people like me don't stop trying, there is still hope. The day the very few people who are still trying stop trying, what you are saying will become true. But as long as I'm trying and people like me are trying, there is still hope. He said, "Ha, ye bhi hai." He said, "You see, the thing is, you are treating a patient. When a patient goes to your chamber and says, "Mujhe bukhar hai," you treat that person for his physical recovery. But my position in the society is that there are thousands of students who love me, who at least consider what I say seriously. They may agree or disagree, and disagreement is absolutely fine. But at least they listen to me, they give it a thought that sir ने कहा है, थोड़ा सोचते हैं इसके बारे में, या सर ने कहा है तो इसमें कुछ तो होगा. If you ever achieve a position like this in the society where even 10 people follow you, 10 people are willing to listen to you, it is a great responsibility. You can use your position of influence to turn them into terrorists using your influence, or you can use the same influence to ensure that they become better human beings, better citizens of this country. Because those 10 people are again connected to 10 people each, which means through those 10 people, you can reach 100 more people. And I won't stop trying because I have reached a position in my career and I understand and love my country so much that I will never be the person who will, even in an individual conversation with a Hindu, bullshit Muslims, or in a conversation with Muslims, bullshit Hindus. I won't do that. No student ever will be able to tell me, send me a screenshot and tell me आप क्लास में ये सब कहते हो, individual conversation में तो आपका tone बदल जाता है. Never happens. So we cannot stop trying. I understand that it seems like a losing battle. There is the amount of poison in the society is increasing at such a rapid pace that it's becoming difficult to handle it. But we shouldn't stop trying.
So one more question.
Yeah.
So just now you mentioned that some people are there who speak do two things. Suppose I'm taking my example. I'm a
Hmm.
teacher, suppose, and I teach
Hmm.
a class, and I tell them all the fairy tales that be
Hmm.
like a
Hmm.
man who has all the
Hmm.
insights.
Hmm.
And at
Hmm.
the back of my house or anywhere, I talk
Hmm.
bullshit.
Hmm.
So does the transition happens, or just we put a mask, extra mask on
We
our
put a
face?
mask. We put a mask.
So
This
the
is, let me give
transition
you,
doesn't happen actually.
no, let me give you the answer to a question that many, many students, even my family members, ask me. A very common
Hmm.
question. Why are you so close to your students? Why do you give your students so much space and entry into your private life? Very common question. They say you are a professor, ठीक है, there are many professors in the world who are popular among students, but why do you talk to them about relationships and life? Why do you allow them so much into your personal life? Why do you become involved in their personal life? My answer is very simple, and you guys should know this from the first semester itself. I do this consciously because if you have access to me at a personal level, you will be able to verify whether what I'm saying in classes and what I am outside classes is the same person. If not, you should immediately stop thinking of me as a teacher and stop being my friend and stop respecting me. This is precisely the reason why I'm interacting with you all the time at a personal level also, so that you can, each one of you, through our personal, because in a 50-minute class I can act, but can I act for 4 years if you and I are personally connected? No, I can't.
No, sir. No, sir.
This is one of the reasons, because I don't want to say these things, good, high things in class, and be someone else in my personal life. You will love me, respect me only when you discover that ये बंदा personal life में भी ऐसा ही है जैसा वो क्लास में कहता है, hypocrite नहीं. Take it from me, 98% of the people you have in your life who say these things are actually the biggest hypocrites you have ever come across. Biggest hypocrites you have ever come across. And things are
So again,
actually
how
very
to deal
simple.
with them?
Hmm?
How to deal
How to
with
deal
them?
with them?
कुछ तो
Discover
लोग
them.
कहेंगे.
Discover them. First, discover them and then stop respecting them, even if they are the presidents of your country. Discover
So
them.
why would I waste time in discovering them? Later, I should ignore them.
Because at your age, even at my age, we are constantly influenced by people. We are not individual units. We move as a
Mhm.
society. If let's assume that I have a certain influence on you, you should discover me, because if you don't discover me, you will keep getting influenced by the wrong person. I'm not saying
Mhm.
discover everybody in your neighborhood. I'm saying that the moment you feel attracted to another person and you feel that this person can make me a better human being, before giving him or her that pass, that entry into your personal life, give yourself some time to discover that person, to become 100% sure that the person who's going to teach you English actually knows ABCD and grammar well.
So it's never possible to discover person 100% because again
No,
I
you
will come
don't
to my
have to.
point that
No,
we
no, you
wear the
don't have to
masks.
discover the person 100%. See, the thing is, there are various aspects. If i'm if i'm lecturing you about, let's say, unity, then you can just check. If I'm telling you that, we are all equal, we should all respect Hindus and Muslims and Sikhs and Christians, then you should just try to discover what I actually think in that particular aspect. You don't have to discover whether I smoke cigarettes or marijuana. That's a different aspect of my character.
Okay, then
which,
level
which
levels.
Yeah, whichever aspect you get attracted. If I tell you that you should never smoke and drink, then you should find out whether I smoke or drink.
Hmm.
If I tell you that you should always be on time, you should be punctual, you should then check out whether I reach college on time every day. Whatever I tell you, only that aspect. Before putting me in that position in your life where you learn from me, you should check if I'm worthy of being your teacher. For example, let me tell you that as a teacher who trains you for personality development and GDs and PIs, I always say be punctual, and I'm very punctual in my life as well. And let me give you an example to all of you. If you have your sources in college, when you go to second, third, fourth year, you may check this and verify this. I have been in this career for 14 years, not 1 or 2 days, not 14 months, 14 years. What if I tell you that in these 14 years, there is not a single late entry of mine in the college? Our college entry time is 9:30 a.m. When the college reopens for 4 years, you go to my staff room at 9:10, 9:10, 20 minutes before 9:30, and you will find me in the staff room any day, any day. So I have the right to tell you to be punctual. Why? Because I'm not a hypocrite. I am punctual myself. Whether it's raining, whether it's a strike by CPM or Trinamool, it does not matter. Either I'm absent. If I'm present in college, you will find me in college at 9:10, even though our college timings are 9:30. So, because I am punctual, I have the right to tell you to be punctual. I'm not going to be a hypocrite if I say that.
Yes, got it. Thank you, sir.
Anything else? Anyone else?
So, what is the weirdest question ever asked in an interview that you know of?
Uh, okay, let me give you a couple of examples. Success stories, of course, but weird. This is going to be interesting. Uh, Usually what happens, like I was telling you, it's like a video game where the person wants to defeat you, and obviously the person is an HR and you are just a third year, fourth year student. So the game begins with you being at a lower height. एक के बाद एक questions that person is going to ask, and if you answer those very correctly, क्या होता है ना, साइकोलॉजिकली उसमें एक उसके ईगो को लगता है, हर्ट होता है वो ईगो में. क्यों? Because when the interview begins, the interviewer thinks, looking at you, अरे यार थर्ड ईयर फोर्थ ईयर का बच्चा और मेरा 15 साल का तजुर्बा, इसको 2 मिनट में मैं मसल दूं, which is in a way true. But when question after question is asked and you are answering every question perfectly, that person is a little shocked. अरे बाप रे, ये जितना इजी मैंने सोचा था उतना इजी तो है नहीं है. Then what happens is the interviewer starts making the questions more difficult and more personal. क्यों? क्योंकि तब तक वो ईगो वाला गेम में बदल चुका है, जहां उस इंसान को खुद के पास ये प्रूव करना है कि you can be defeated by him or her. He or she cannot accept the fact that an a 21-year-old person will defeat him in the game of interviews where he thought he was the emperor and you are no one. The moment it becomes an ego game, he'll not tell you that I'm going to defeat you and all that. ये मैं psychology की बात कर. Naturally, like if tomorrow you stop my class and say, sir, আপনি যেটা বললেন grammatically এটা ভুল, it's going to hurt me. Oh my God, I'm an English professor. She's teaching me English. That kind of thing. So this person starts raising the level of the questions. The questions become more difficult. The questions become more personal because that person is now desperate to defeat you. He or she can't believe that you are so awesome. वहां जाके क्या होता है? A time comes when that person is almost on the verge of getting defeated by you. वो समझ चुका होता है कि ये बंदा या बंदी जो है, इससे जीत पाना बहुत मुश्किल है, ये awesome है. Then that person starts asking weird questions. Getting back to your point, weird questions. कैसे? In an interview, not in our college, a candidate was asked, a female candidate, याद रखो gender यहाँ जरूरी है. The female candidate was asked by the male interviewer, and this is the question: what if you wake up tomorrow in the morning and you find yourself nude on the bed, lying next to a man who is also nude? What will you do? Did all of you get the question clearly?
Yes, sir.
Others? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You wake up tomorrow morning, ma'am, and you find yourself nude on the bed, lying next to a nude man. What would you do? ये weird question है. ये वो ego से आ रहा है. कुछ भी पूछ ले, इसको हराना है. The girl got the job by giving an answer which is so damn impressive. That girl said, I will wake up my husband and give him coffee. है ना? Award winning answer.
Yes, sir. Maybe.
That's funny.
Yes, sir.
क्यों? जो क्वेश्चन था वो इंडिकेट करता था एक बहुत गंदी चीज, है ना?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
किसी भी महिला को ऐसा प्रश्न कोई पुरुष या कोई भी, स्पेशली कोई पुरुष पूछता है तो ये बहुत एक्चुअली इंसल्टिंग है. वो लड़की अगर रिएक्ट करती, वो लड़की अगर कहती, सर प्लीज बी विद इन योर लिमिट्स, यू कैनॉट आस्क अ वुमन दिस काइंड ऑफ क्वेश्चंस, वो बंदा अपोलोजाइज करता मगर नौकरी नहीं देता. और वो बंदा ये भी कह सकता था, व्हाई आर यू looking at it in such an ugly way? You have a very ugly way of thinking. It could be your husband. उस लड़की ने क्या किया, इस पूरे गंदे क्वेश्चन को अपसाइड डाउन टर्न कर दिया by saying that I'll wake up my husband and give him coffee. Now it's not a dirty thing. You can be nude in the bed with your husband, no issues. Right? Got it?
Yes, sir.
ये इसको हम कहते हैं इंटेलिजेंस Wit, W-I-T, wit. You may be asked something which is really weird, even insulting, but you have to use your intelligence to turn it into something positive. A man was asked by another man, "You have a sister?" He said, "Yes." "What if I run away with your sister tomorrow?" You will be, as a, if you have a sister, if anybody has a sister here, you will be very, very angry, right? An interviewer telling you, what if I run away with your sister tomorrow? You know what the answer was? The answer was,
It can
"Sir,
be a marathon,
sir,
like a race.
I will be very happy because I do not think my sister will get a better husband than you."
Oh,
अरे वो कौन सा तुम्हारे बहन के साथ भागने वाला है? वो तो तुम्हें गुस्सा दिलाने की कोशिश कर रहा है, वो तो तुम में से कुछ नेगेटिव निकालने की कोशिश कर रहा है, वो नहीं भागेगा तुम्हारी बहन के साथ. Why should you react and get angry and lose your job? In another interview, third example, a lady was asked, bombarded with questions by the interviewer, and the lady answered all questions very, very correctly. So the interviewer was naturally inside, psychologically very upset that he could not defeat this lady. So he raised his hands and said, "Okay, okay, fine. I'm going to ask you one last question. अब तक इंटरव्यू में जो हुआ भूल जाओ." विच इज वेरी अनफेयर, बिकॉज भूल नहीं जाना चाहिए. लड़की ने सारे के सारे क्वेश्चंस के सही जवाब दिए थे, बट अब तक जो हुआ भूल जाओ. आई एम गोइंग टू आस्क यू अ क्वेश्चन. The answer to this question will decide whether you will get the job or not. So be very careful. So this girl smiled and said, "Okay, sir, as you wish. What's the question?" And there was a table in between them. Table ke us par interviewer, is par candidate. So this man said, with your index finger, point at the exact center of the table. And you have to point at the exact center of the table. She smiled and said, "Okay, sir." And then she put the finger on the point of the table which was closest to her. Clearly not the center. एक कोने में उंगली से point out किया. Now this interviewer, frustrated, said, "How can you say that that is the center of the table? How can you say that that's the center? Because that's clearly not the center. How can you say that that's the center?" This girl smiled and said, "Sir, you said that that was your last question." समझ में आया?
yes, yes. Oh,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
He smiled and said, "Sir, you cannot ask me any more questions because you said that that was your last question." And she got the job because of her intelligence. ये गलत फहमी है कि इंटरव्यू में एक कॉन्स्टिपेटेड फेस लेके बैठना है. इंटरव्यू में यू कैन बी ह्यूमरस. इंटरव्यू में यू शुड बी ऑनेस्ट. इंटरव्यू में यू शुड एंजॉय द प्रोसेस. अ मैन फ्रॉम एक्सेंचर और अ वुमन फ्रॉम एक्सेंचर is trying to know you. What is there to be scared of? It's an amazing honor. How many people are there in your life who try to know you? Even your boyfriends and girlfriends don't try to know you. You often complain that you have never even understood me. You never tried to even understand me. So if a person is trying to know you, then I think it's a process that should be enjoyed. That here is a person who's trying to know me, understand me. And by default, all of us are beautiful people. By default, हमारा जो natural state है, when we were born, we only knew how to love. We did not know how to hate. We got irritated, but we did not hate anyone. We either loved or we did not like or got irritated. But hatred was not our basic emotion. Love was. Yes, we have traveled 18, 19 years of our life and we have learned how to hate as well. But please do not forget the fact that hatred is not the default setting. Love is the default setting. Negativity is not the default setting. It is what the society has taught us. It has taught us to be negative. Our default setting is positive. Our default setting is not putting a knife into somebody's stomach. Our default setting is hugging a person. Our default setting is smiling. Our default setting is not crying. All you have to do when a person is trying to know you is just allow your default settings to come to the surface, because that is who you are. You are a smiling person, you are a positive person, you are more likely to hug than to kill, you are more likely to love than to hate. So you have no reason to worry, no reason to be tensed about. You are a positive person, and that's all you have to do is let loose your positivity. Let it be a flood of positivity, a flood of smiles, happiness. And whatever negative has happened in the journey of life has also been positive because you have learned from it. Learning itself is positive, and learning is necessary. If for learning something negative must happen, so be it. No issues. No issues at all. Okay? Any questions?
No, sir.
We
Okay.
can stop
So
now.
yeah, let's wrap it up then. What do you say?
Yes, of course.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Parui,
sir.
Parui, Parui. I need the screenshots.
Yes, sir. I'm sending it to you.
Okay. Okay. Uh, Send the screenshots, then let me know, then I'll disconnect. Thank you so much for joining. I hope this was a fruitful lesson. I hope you will develop, grow as people. And
Yes, sir.
Pratyush
I've
is
sent it.
talking in, yeah, Pratyush is talking in texts. You
Should
can,
voice you.
He's not
yeah,
in
yeah.
our group.
Oh, he's attending the class without being in the group. Okay. Okay. Hmm.
Passion.
Passion. Okay.
Sir, is it
There are
our
many
last?
such. It could be, could very well be, because I'm not sure next week we are going to have a class, because you have your exam, and next week we are going to be on this day, we are going to be in February.
So what you gonna ask in exam? English.
I'm going to make you
Interact.
perform in group discussions.
Oh, group discussion.
Pratyush, there are many such movies, many such movies. Shawshank Redemption is on the list at the top for me as well. But there are many such movies. And usually, although Shawshank Redemption has become very popular, there are many movies which are amazing studies on personality, but you will often not find those movies very popular in the box office. Uh, but yes, you have named a movie which is really good, really good. I became a fan of that man after watching this movie. Is amazing. Anyway, thank you so much for coming. Take care, all of you. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Stay
Take care,
connect.
sir.
Stay,
Thank you,
just in
sir.
case this actually turns out to be the last class. Stay connected, because I do believe, even after whatever I have been able to teach you, that there is a lot more for you and for me to learn together. One of the reasons why I constantly am in touch with you guys from my side is, apart from the friendship part, is because there are a lot of things that I learn from you every. This might seem weird, but you see, what happens is when you kind of grow older, you lose touch with the younger self of yours. ये होता है आपको भी. When you will grow older, 10-20 years later, you will understand, you will almost forget what it was like to be 17-18 anymore, because life will give you so many kicks on your balls that you will forget how beautiful 17, 18, 19 was. My reason, one of the reasons for keeping in touch with you and being your friend, is that through you I kind of keep in touch with my 18, 19, 20. And that was so beautiful, so fresh, so amazing, awesome. I cannot obviously reverse time and go back to my 17, 18, but in each one of you, in every gali you give, in every hug you give, in every class you bunk or attend, I find myself. That's, you guys are my way of keeping in touch with my 18, 19, 20, which will never come back to me. So yes, I have my own selfish reasons, but friendship is reason number one. Reason number two is what I just told you. Anyway, thank you so much for being a part of my classes this semester. If we don't get to be in the same classroom again, learning must not stop. Friendship must not end. Remember that.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
you may
Thank you.
now exit. Yeah, welcome. You may now
Yes,
exit
sir.
the classroom. The class is over. Goodbye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Yes,
you, sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Welcome. Welcome.